All right, we are back. You're listening to K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I'm your host, Yoshi Shiraki. We've got Jack Skilly in the studios today, professional NHL hockey player, sharing lots of great things. Thank you so much, by the way, again, for sharing.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so Jack, you mentioned yesterday you've got a nightmare story that happened to you. So the nightmare stories don't always have to happen to the guest, they could just know of it, but this one happened to you said, right?
Yeah.
So do you mind diving into it, please?
Well, yeah, I mean, it started out, I was playing in Minsk, Belarus. I was alone in Minsk, Belarus, which was like kind of a nightmare story in itself,
Okay.
being alone over there. But I got settled in and was playing hockey and enjoying hockey, and I got to the point where right around Christmas time, I started getting lonely. I started getting homesick for the first time really in my life. And was exhausted from the season and the travel all around Russia, and it was a grind.
Yes.
I got to a place where I hated the idea of playing hockey for the first time in my life. I hated it. I loathed it.
Yeah.
I literally looked at my jersey and didn't want to put it on before a game.
Wow.
So that was a nightmare for me. I was like,
Yeah.
now I have half the season left to play, and I literally cannot fathom putting this jersey on again.
Oh, wow.
So I was at the place where I was going to actually just jump on a flight without telling anybody and just ditch it and go home.
Oh.
I was there. I was
Yeah.
rock bottom
Yeah.
mentally. So I had a mentor at the time that I was speaking to about some spiritual things in my life, being a believer in God and trying to live out according to that and that path. And he had said, you're exhausted, you're lonely, you're this and that. This is the worst time to ever make a serious life decision like you're about to make. He was a ex-pro ball player too, so he knew what I was going through. So he said, yeah, I got to the same place mentally before I retired, but let's pray about it. So we prayed about it. Make a long story short, we prayed about it. The next day I had to hop on a flight from Minsk to Shanghai.
Oh, wow.
It was 9 hours. So it was like we literally had to refuel in the middle of Siberia. Like, believe me, I did not want to be on that flight. It was the last flight I wanted to be on. So we get to Shanghai and we had like a day off just to get settled and get used to the time change a little bit. So never doing this before in a city that I've never been in, a country I've never been in. I've never been to China before at this point. I was like, you know what? I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna walk around alone. I'm gonna have not be with my teammates. I'm gonna do this and that. And I, took everything out of the room and usually leave stuff in the room, whatever. But I just was carrying around a backpack, this and that, whatever. And found a bike rental and started riding a bike around town. I mean, careless, just whatever, just cruising around.
Yeah.
Nothing happened on the bike. It was like a fun little adventure, to be honest.
Right.
And it was like a great little day. I was just cruising around, just waving to people as they go by. I don't care. I'm just a tourist today.
Yeah.
So, we woke up. Actually, started as like a half day off. So that evening we had practice just to get acclimated on the ice. And we go skate, and we do this and that. I get in the bus after the practice, and I do the 1, 2, 3, the wallet, phone, check, right? So there was like wallet, phone, passport check.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's my passport?
Oh.
And I'm like, no, it's probably in my room. I always leave it in my room.
Yeah.
So I go eat dinner, go to my room, expecting my passport to be in my desk, gone.
Oh no.
So I'm like doing the lifting up the bed, I'm like lifting up the chair, I'm lifting up all the pillows, and I'm like literally the places that the passport would never be. And I'm like searching. And I finally start laughing. I'm like, Jack, no matter how hard you look, your passport's gone.
Oh no.
So I laughed, I chuckled, I said, okay, God, here's your answer.
Yeah.
Here's your answer to my prayer.
Yeah.
I'm stuck here now.
Right.
So I went down the elevator, and this guy, Boris, our team doctor, Boris, literally his name Boris.
That's awesome.
A Russian guy. I said, Boris, I lost my passport. He goes, this is problem. That was his response. So I'm like, now I'm really in trouble.
Yeah.
Like this guy's supposed to help me.
Right.
And this is problem.
Yeah.
That's his response. Okay, so we talked to this other guy, who's the team guy, who's in charge of all of the backup photos and all that stuff for your passport.
Yeah.
Didn't speak a lick of English.
Oh no.
So I'm having Boris translate with him, and it was a mess. So I literally was stuck there, long story short again, for a week, doing everything on my own. The team left me.
Oh,
we played the team in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And I said, hey guys, have a good roadie. I'll see you maybe someday in Minsk again. And we were all laughing like, you idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I'm stuck in Shanghai all alone.
Oh man.
Footing the own bill, like the team's not paying for it.
Right.
You pay for your own, you figure it out. You lost the passport.
Yeah.
So I'm going back and forth to the consulate. I'm, after about 4 or 5 days, it was over a weekend, so everything was closed. So I was like, couldn't do anything, roaming around the city, just resting really. I slept 14, 15 hours a day. Couldn't, I was like, really, I couldn't believe how much I was sleeping.
Yeah.
But, right around the 5th, 6th day, when I was starting to get all the documents I needed, I was getting ready to kind of leave town, I started waking up in the middle of the night and wanting to get to the gym. And I was just so motivated to get back and play.
Yes.
And I was like, this is, I need to get back, I need to be in good shape when I come back, and this needs to happen, and I need to grind it out right now. I can't sleep. So I started grinding it out in the hotel, weight room, and really just getting back into shape. Got on this flight, it was a 12-hour flight from Shanghai to Frankfurt, and I mean, it was a whole ordeal. I mean, I had to get, by the time I left China, I had to get a visa to leave the country. I had to get a visa to re-enter Belarus. I mean, it was a mess. It was an all-time worst case scenario mess.
Right.
And, but by the end of it, I had my first practice with my team, and it was like a ton, just everything was off my shoulders. I was light. I felt great. It was the best practice of my life. I'll never forget it.
That's awesome.
And it just literally turned everything around for that year.
Wow.
Just finished strong, and it was. I mean, it ended up being a blessing, but it was like in the initial, it was. I mean,
a panic almost.
A panic, a straight panic. Like, I'm stuck here alone. There's nobody that's gonna help me.
Right.
If I want to get out of China,
yeah.
I have to do it myself.
Right.
So,
how's your Chinese?
It was terrible. And I had a really gross lady sneeze in her hand on the subway. I learned the subway system real good, but she sneezed on her hand. Like, this would never happen during COVID right now.
Right.
Sneezed in her hand and just chucked it on the floor, and it was like this loud thud right next to my foot. It was disgusting. I'm glad I'm sharing it to people on radio. But but literally, that was a nightmare. That was like, what? And she literally just looked back at her phone like nothing happened. And I'm like, this is the most disgusting thing that's ever happened to me. You could literally feel the vibration of this lube going around. It was just disgusting. So, I mean, the whole thing. There's things I could write a book about that experience. And literally, I got shanghaied.
Wow.
So it was a nightmare.
A nightmare. But like you said, the blessing in disguise there was that it got you hungry again because you weren't playing hockey. You had like this time off.
Yeah, it literally made it a reality to me that I needed rest. I needed to just turn my brain off. And it was funny. Like, I didn't want to do that, but I was like pinned.
Yeah.
I was pinned down. There was no way around it. I was stuck in that hotel. I was stuck in Shanghai.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I was forced to wait, and that was a really big life lesson for me. Got it.
Yes. Okay. That's a great story. Wow. Have you worked on your Chinese since, just in case that ever happens again?
No. I literally made a vow of never going back to China.
Okay.
I got my dose for life.
Okay. Awesome.
Beautiful country. Love it. Beautiful people. Awesome.
Yeah.
Never going back.
Right. Okay.